I first heard about the experiment when I was a medical student, tucked away in an old lecture that was never supposed to be part of the curriculum. The professor slipped, mentioning a classified Soviet trial during the 1940s, an experiment with prisoners meant to push the limits of human endurance. That night, curiosity gnawed at me, and I found myself digging through obscure journals and scanned documents buried in digital archives. What I read felt impossible, but the details were too consistent, too vivid to dismiss. The project was simple in its cruelty. 5 political prisoners were promised freedom if they agreed to remain awake for 15 days straight. They were sealed inside an airtight chamber, fed through tubes, and pumped with a gas, an experimental stimulant designed by Soviet scientists. At first, it worked. On day 1, the men laughed, joked, even sang. By day 2, paranoia set in. They stopped speaking to each other, whispering only to the shadows. The microphones picked up muttering prayers, confessions, and words in languages none of the staff recognized. By day 5, things escalated. The prisoners screamed for hours, blood-curdling wails that rattled the walls of the chamber. Then suddenly, silence. When guards checked the microphones, they didn't hear sleep, but low, deliberate breathing, as though the men were hiding, waiting. On day 9, the scientists cut the gas for inspection, and what they found was beyond nightmare. The chamber was smeared with blood, feces, and shredded flesh. One prisoner had torn open his own abdomen, stuffing food and organs into the drain as if trying to hide evidence. Others had mutilated themselves in ways that should have killed them, but the stimulant kept them alive. Their eyes bulged from sleepless madness, and when guards tried to remove them, the prisoners fought with inhuman strength, ripping flesh with their bare hands. The survivors begged not to be put back to sleep. Their voices rasped with something unearthly, whispering that they were no longer men. But something awakened inside the human body when stripped of rest. The last words recorded before the program was buried in secrecy, chilled me the most. We are what you fear to become. We are the sleep you deny. I closed the file, shaking, convinced it had to be propaganda. But sometimes, when I go without sleep for too long, I hear faint whispers in the static of my thoughts, pleading, promising, reminding me that the experiment never really ended.